Good evening, Dhanalakshmi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Pa.
Sir, you can start, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Let the students join, sir. You can start, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Share, ma'am. Share. Good evening, my dear students. So, last class, what we have discussed, will you please summarize the things? Already you know very about what is by male reproductive system, what are the parts is there, and how the sperm is produced, what are the chemical constitution of the sperms, a liquid part as well as the sperm is also the otherwise called as semen. So already we discussed how many temperature it should be maintained. Okay, 2 to 2.5, and also how many milliliters of sperm present in ml. Per ml, how much is there? Already we discussed that things also. Today we are going to discuss about the female reproductive system. Female reproductive system. A female reproductive system is also very important one. And then already in our board, it is also similar to that of the flower, isn't it? Male part, how it will be very important. Likewise, the all the female parts is also very, very important in human being also. Here, what are the things is that? See here, the female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries. Once again, repeat. A pair of ovaries, a pair of oviduct, a uterus, and cervix, external genitalia, and a pair of mammary gland. These are all what is a female reproductive system. A pair of ovaries is a main or primary sex organ of female reproductive system. This is very, very important. Which one is a primary sex organ in female? Like that, they may ask the question. Particularly, a pair of ovary is the primary sex organ for female reproductive system. And then the both the ovaries are located in abdominal cavity in the ovarian fossa. Here, there are so many technical terms. Is there? Just all of the student, please kindly take a notes. Put a heading like this: a female reproductive system. It consists of what are the parts is there? A pair of ovary, pair of oviduct, a uterus, and also cervix, external genitalia, and a pair of mammary gland. These are all are included the female reproductive systems. And then the ovaries, otherwise called as what is that? The ovaries is the main primary sex organ of the female reproductive system. And both the ovary, what is that? Located in abdominal cavity in the ovarian fossa. These are all are very, very important things. Okay. Okay. See, next one is what is the next slide? See, listen here. This is the female reproductive structures. Okay. So just imagine there are two pair of ovaries here. Ovary duct also there. That is otherwise called as fallopian tubes. Ovary, this part. This one is called as fallopian tube. Uterine fundus. This is the upper part is called as uterine fundus. In between the, what is that? The ovary as well as the, which one you know? That is part, you know. That is called as what is that? United together, there is a small tube-like structure is called as ovarian ligament. The connection between the, which one you know? Which one? The fallopian tubes, so the uterine, as well as the this part. This part is called as what is that? Already we discussed fallopian tube. In between these two, there is a small tube-like structure is called as what is that? Ovary ligament. This one is called as uterus, and this one is called as cervix and cervical canal, and this is called as copulatory organ. This is the female reproductive structures. Okay. See here, the same things also given here. Listen here, once again repeat for you. So this is the female reproductive structures. Here is started the copulatory organs, tube, cervical canal, this part. This is called a cervix, and followed by which one you know? This is called as ovary. When the ovary releases, it's received by the fimbriae. The projection is also present in the fallopian tubes. There are three parts. It's composed of the three parts is there. Isthmus, undula, infundibulum. Here the NEET question is there. The tube-like straight structure is called as isthmus. There is a small bend, curved-like structure is called as ambula. The finger-like projection is called as infundibulum. These three parts collectively called as what is that? Fallopian tubes. This is already we discussed uterine fundus, and this is called as uterine cavity. And here, what happened? You know, the what is that? This part, uterine, isn't it? The uterine consists of three layers. That is called as endometrium, myometrium, and perimetrium. These are the three parts. This is collectively called as what is that? Female reproductive structure. Okay. So go to the next one. We will discuss one by one. First one is the ovaries. The ovary is the primary female sex organ, isn't it? Already we discussed. It produces ova. Ovary produce ova. Not only the ova, and also they secrete some female sex hormone. What are the female sex hormone? Estrogen and progesterone is playing a vital role in this reproductive system, otherwise called as female reproductive system, particularly primary female sex organs. The ovary, ova productions. Two hormones is responsible. What is that? Estrogen and progesterone, which are responsible for the development of secondary female sex character and casual marked cycles changes in the uterine endometrium. The estrogen and progesterone also help for the secondary female sex characters. That is very, very important. Okay, compared to male and female, how they are different and morphologically, because the presence of hormone only. These are the two hormones responsible for the female sexual characteristics, particularly secondary characters is also induced by these two hormones. Okay. The ovaries are almond-shaped body, almond. Okay. About 2.4 centimeter long and 2.1 to 5 centimeter wide and 1 centimeter thickness. This is called, this is a shape. Okay. This is a shape. Almond-shaped bodies. Which one? Ovaries. Ovaries are located near kidneys and remain attached to the lower abdominal cavity through Mesovarium. Mesovarium is the another, what is that? Abdominal cavity attached with the kidney. That is a, what is that? Mesovarium. Here you must note it down: ovary, ova, hormones, secondary sexual character, which shape, how much thick and width, and also long, and how it will be connected. Okay, mesovarium. Note it down. This is very, very important. So this is the structure of the, what is that? Female reproductive organs. Fallopian tubes, uterus, bladder, symbiosis pubes, urethra, and here coccyx, colon, and suspensor ligament, ovary, and this is also copulatory tube. So the likewise the other also given here, the A and B, they having been divided into two diagrams. Okay, and second one is not only that ovaries, and also the accessory glands also present in it. Okay, accessory glands means you know about additional with the major one. The oviduct and uterus, and also the copulatory organs, clitoris, and also accessory genital glands and the mammary gland constitute the secondary sexual organ of female, human female. Okay, so go to the next one. First one is called as fallopian tubes and also oviduct. Next one. The fallopian tubes are a pair of muscular tubes. It is also made up of muscles. How many centimeters is there? 10 to 12 centimeters that extended from the periphery of each ovary to the uterus. Fallopian tubes, just to see the diagram, you can understand. Fallopian tubes, where is it? This one is called as fallopian tubes, isn't it? This is the centimeter. How much centimeter? 10 to 12 or 15? 12 centimeter. They extended from the periphery of the ovary to the uterus. Fertilization takes place in it. Note it down. This is very, very important. When the sperm move into the female reproductive organs, it reaches the ovary. Okay, so through the way of it can move through the fallopian tubes. When it reaches the fallopian tubes, the fertilization takes place. So most of the cases of fertilization takes place in the fallopian tube, otherwise called as oviduct. It is supported by the double fold of peritoneum. It shows three regions. That is called as peritoneum. Double fold. Double fold means stuffing. What is that? It is nothing but the which one you know? Curved. Okay. So these are the three parts: infundibulum, ambula, and the isthmus. These are the three parts of fallopian tubes. Already we discussed here before slide. Note it down. This is very, very important. Once again, repeat for you. The fertilization mostly takes place in which area? The NEET question. Fallopian tubes or oviduct. Length 10 to 12. Okay. The peritoneum is shows three regions. What are the three regions? Is the infundibulum, ambula, and also isthmus. These are the three parts. See here, you can see it. So this is the fallopian tube, isn't it? In this part is called as fallopian tubes. Okay. So here contained three parts is there. This is called as isthmus, ambula, infundibulum. And finger-like projection is also there here. This is called as fimbriae. What is the main use of fimbriae? Once the ovaries comes out, what can it easily capture, adhere on the surface of the fimbriae, which allow inside the fallopian tubes. Okay, this is a very, very important thing. See that. Infundibulum. The infundibulum has a broad funnel-shaped proximal part. This is the primitive part of the fallopian tube. Its margin bears fimbriae, which has a finger-like projection. Note it down. This is very, very important. The infundibulum, there is a finger-like projection is called as what is that? Fimbriae. Help in the collection of the ovum after the ovulation. Already told you. What is the main purpose of the finger-like projection, as well, otherwise called as what is that? Fimbriae. Okay. It is called as infundibulum. The main thing is there, it's a collection of, help to collect the ovum after the ovulation, otherwise called as the releasing of ovule or ovum. Sorry, ovum. The second one is ambula. Ambula is a thin-walled, longest part lined with the ciliated columnar epithelium. Note it down. This is also very, very important. Sometimes they may ask the question, Ciliated columnar epithelium mostly found in the reproductive part of the female is called as which one of the following? Infundibulum, ombula, or isthmus? You have to tell us the ombula. And is the site of the fertilization. This is also another part. And third one is called as isthmus. It is a very short, narrow, thick, walled, straight part, and it joined the uterus. See here. So this is a structure, isn't it? This is the structure of fallopian tube. Here, three part already we discussed. What are the three parts? There? Infundibulum, ambula, and the isthmus. This is called as fimbriae. When the ovulation takes place, the egg is released from the ovary. It is captured by this part only. It can be allowed this way. Finally, it reaches the uterus. This is very, very important. Sometimes they may ask the question in diagrammatical questions. Okay. So go to the next one. The uterus, otherwise called as womb. The uterus is a single and it also called as womb. The uterus is thick-walled, inverted, beer-shaped, muscular and glandular. Okay. So it is supported by ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. It shows three regions. Here also the three region is present. Uterus. Okay. The fundus, it is the upper dome-shaped part above the opening of fallopian tubes. Is called as, what is that? Fundus. Corpus or body, it is the middle and main part of the uterus. This is very, very important. Corpus luteum. Okay, like that. Fundus, corpus, and then see here, third one is called a cervix. Okay, these are all the part of which one you know? Imagine this is called as uterus. Okay, see here, the cervix, it is a lower narrow part which open into the body uterus by the internal os and the copulatory duct. Below by the external os. External os, internal os is there. They are all are the opening of copulatory duct. Okay. It is mainly formed of the most powerful sphincter muscles in the body. What is the main use of sphincter muscles? It can be, what is that? Sphincter muscles. It can be used for the movement of the, which one you know? Egg or fetus. The cavity of the cervix is called a cervical canal, which along with the copulatory duct forms the birth canal. The copulatory duct is also otherwise called as, what is that? Birth canal. Okay. So these are the three important parts present in the uterus. And then external ganglia. Kindly, all my students, please kindly refer the book because it is very difficult to discuss. What is the next one? And fourth one is glands. Okay, Dhanalakshmi.
Yes, sir.
Why? You any question?
No, sir. Nothing, sir.
Why? Okay. Okay, glands. The vestibular glands are of two types. Here the glands also present in the female reproductive organ that is called as vestibular glands. The vestibular glands are of two types. One is called as lesser vestibular glands. Another one is called as greater vestibular glands. The lesser vestibular glands also called as paraurethral glands and glands of skin. Sometimes they ask the question like that, the technical term. The glands of skin is called, otherwise called lesser vestibular gland. Okay. And then here the greater vestibular gland, also Bartholin's gland. These are the two names. Sometimes they may ask the question. Glands of skin, paraurethral glands, and gland of skin or lesser vestibular gland. This is the first one. And the second one is greater vestibular gland or Bartholin's gland. These are all are the two glands present in the female reproductive organs. See the first one, the numerous minute glands are present around the urethral orifice. This is called as what is a lesser vestibular gland. These glands are homologous to the male prostate and secrete mucus. It is the main functions of these glands. What happen, you know, they can secrete the one of the substances is called as mucus. Second is greater vestibular gland or otherwise called as Bartholin's gland, paired glands. Here the how many glands present is a homologous. Yeah, the pair glands are situated one on the each side of the copulatory organ or orifice. Urethral orifice, copulatory orifice. These are the two things is very, very important regarding glands. Okay, so go to the next one. These glands are homologous to the bulbourethral glands, the Cowberg glands of the male, and secrete the viscous fluid that supplement lubrication during the sexual intercourse. This is a glands secrete the viscous fluid, that viscous fluids used for the copulation. Okay, the oviduct, uterus, and copulated duct, clitoris, the accessory genital glands, and mammary glands constitute the secondary sexual organ of the human female. These are all what is that? Secondary sexual organs. Okay, and also another one is called as mammary gland. It is also very, very important. After the pasturations, delivery, what happened? You know, the child fed by mother through mammary gland. That's why we are all called as mammalians, because the presence of mammary gland. They are those who are all present mammary gland. They are all collectively called as mammals. The functions of mammary gland is a characteristic of all female mammals. That is very, very important. Already in our egg, those who are having the ability to produce the egg, they are all bearing the mammary glands. So particularly female bearing mammary glands. The mammary glands are paired structures that contain glandular tissues and the variable amount of fat. Glandular tissues with the fat. The glandular tissues of each breast is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Here, the mammary glands is also divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes containing cluster of cells called alveoli. Alveoli already you studied. Where will you? Already know about it. It is also present in the lungs. Already you studied, isn't it? Likewise, here also there are so many, what is that? Cluster of cells called as alveoli, lobes containing. Okay, cluster, a mass of cells like that you have to tell. How many things is there? 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Okay, the cells of alveoli secrete milk, which is stored in the activities lumen of the alveoli. Lumen of the alveoli. The alveoli open into mammary tubules. The alveoli open into the mammary tubules. Just listen here. These are all very, very important. Mammary alveoli. Mammary alveoli into the mammary tubules. The mammary tubules into mammary duct. The mammary duct to mammary ampulla. And the last one is called as lactiferous duct. And finally, it out of the nipple. Okay. This is the passage of the milk through the mammary alveoli to mammary tubules to mammary duct to mammary ampulla, and also lactiferous, and also the nipple. The development of the mammary gland is under the control of pituitary. It is also the mammary gland is also under control of the pituitary hormones only. It is also very, very important. Already know very about that things also. The milk is synthesized by the lactogenesis under control of the prolactin. It's one of the hormone. The milk secretion is also automatically, what is the interrelated with the, which one? Lactogenesis, otherwise called as milk synthesized under control of the prolactin, and also milk is secreted under control of the oxytocin. Lactogenesis, prolactin, the oxytocin. These are the two hormones responsible for the production of milk. Yearly milk is rich in minerals, that is colostrum. Already we know very about. After the pasteurization, the first milk is called as colostrum. It is a pale yellow in color. It has a highly immunity power. It fight against many diseases, already we discussed, but the first milk is called as colostrum. Okay, it contains highly rich component of immunoglobulin A. Immunoglobulin A. No need to confuse. Early milk is rich in minerals, that is colostrum, and particularly one of the immunoglobulin A is highly present. Mammary glands are also modified form of the sweat glands. The mammary glands is also one of the sweat gland modified form of. Okay, is the another part. So already know very well about this is the structure. Just to go and check it in your diagram. Okay. Histology of ovary. What are the things already we discussed? What is my female reproductive organ? What are the part of the female reproductive organ? How they are divided? What are the layer present in it? What is my fallopian tubes? What are the parts is there? And then what is my urethra? What are the parts inside there? Endometrium, myometrium, and also another one, perimetrium. And then we will pass on to the next one is called as what is that? Glands. What are the two types of glands that we discuss? And then we will pass on to the next one is called as what is that? Mammary gland. What is my mammary gland? What are the parts is there? How the milk is secreted? What are the components? What are the hormones responsible for the production of milk? Okay, that things already we discussed. Here, histology of ovary. Structures: the free surface of the ovary is covered by a germinal epithelium composed of a single layer of the cubical cells. Single layer of the cubical cells. The epithelium is continuous with the mesothelium. Mesothelium is nothing but the middle lining called peritoneum. Epithelium is also followed by already there are three layers there. Already about. Okay, upper layer, middle layer, and lower. Likewise, the ovary is also it has a layer. The first layer is called as what is that? A germinal epithelium. It composed of a single layer of cubical cells. This is noted down, very, very important. The ovary, the germinal epithelium is composed of how many layers they may ask the questions. A single layer, double layer, triple layer, like that. Single layer of cubical cell. The structure will be cube-like structures. Each epithelium is continuous with the mesothelium. It's followed by the another layer is called as mesothelium. It's nothing but the middle layer. That lining are called as peritoneum. Note it down. This is also another one. The epithelium encloses the ovarian is called as stroma. The ovarian also enclosed by the some of the structure that is called as a layer is called as stroma. The stroma is divided into two zones that is called as peripheral cortex and also inner medulla, like as a kidney. Okay, so here layer is also present in it. The layer covered with the stroma. The stroma inside there are two zones. Is the one is called as peripheral cortex and also inner medulla. Immediately below the germinal epithelium, the cortex is covered by a connective tissue called as tunica albigine. So these are the things very, very important. Histological ovary, you must note it down. First, there is a germinal epithelium composed of cuboid cell. And another layer is called as what is the mesothelium, that is called as peritoneum. The epithelial cell is also enclosed by the ovarian called stroma. It has two zones. One is called as peripheral cortex. Another one is called as inner medulla. And then the germinal epithelium, the cortex is covered by the connective tissue. This is called as tunica albigine. Okay, these are the theoretical aspects only. The cortex contains numerous sphericals or oval sac-like masses of the cell known as ovarian follicle. Where is a cortex containing spherical bodies. That spherical bodies look like a sac-like mass of cells known as ovarian follicles. The ovarian follicles, note it down. Along the germinal epithelium, group of oogenia, egg nest is also project into the cortical part as the egg tubes of a puff flagger, which gives rise to the ovarian follicles. This is the part. What is a tube-like part? It is a very important for the rises to the ovarian follicle. Ovarian follicles also originated from the which tube cells. This is the tube cells. The medulla consists of loose of connective tissues, elastic fibers, numerous blood vessels, and also some what is the smooth muscles fibers also present in it. These are all are what is the structure of histology of ovary. That means inner part. What are the parts present inside? What are the layers present in it? How they will divide it? Okay, the follicles, the ovarian follicles is very, very important for the reproduction process. Okay, the ovarian follicle, how it will be arises. Okay, so ovarian follicles also arises from the tube-like structures, egg tubes like this, Plufker glands. Okay, so go to the next one. See here, this is the structure. Here the blood vessel is the primary follicle. These are the primary follicle converted into secondary follicle, and the tertiary follicle, finally the Graafian follicles. When the complete maturation takes place in the Graafian follicles, it eliminates that means completely rupture the Graafian follicle cell wall and releases the ovum, and also it reaches the, which one? Finger-like projection is called as, what is that? Yes, fimbriae. Okay, so this is the another part, follicular phase, ovulation phase, and luteal phase. They may be divided here. This is ovarian cycle, ovulations. Okay, so these are all happening inside the stomach. Internal structure of first one is called as, what is that? Histology of what is that? Ovary. The internal structure, you must note it down. This is very, very important. Note it down, very, very important. A is a ovarian follicle. The ovarian follicle contains a large centrally placed ovum surrounded by several layers of granular cells, otherwise called as follicular granulosa or cumulus Wooper's or disc proligirus. These are the what? This is called a several layer of the granular cells. Which one? Ovarian follicle containing a large centrally placed. This is the largest one compared to the sperm. Which one is ovum is the largest? How many times they do you know? Anybody else? How many times it's bigger than that of the male gamete? Okay, tomorrow that is your homework. Just to find out the answer. Okay, tomorrow I will ask you. Okay, it is suspended in a small cavity called as antrum. Suspended in a small cavity is called as antrum. Note it down. This is also very, very important. The antrum is filled with the fluid known as liquor folliculi. Liquor folliculi. Once again, follicle, centrally placed ovum, but although it contains several layers, that several layer name is given here. It is also suspended in the small cavity is called as antrum. The antrum filled with the fluid is known as the liquor folliculi. The secondary oocyte in the tertiary follicle also forms a new membrane called as zona pellucida. This is very, very important. The zona pellucida is also originated from the which part? The secondary oocyte, after the formation of secondary oocytes. In the tertiary follicle also, primary follicle, secondary follicle, and also tertiary follicle is also present in it, isn't it? Then only the tertiary follicle also forms a new membrane called zona pellucida. See that? The follicles bulges onto the surface of the ovary. Such follicle is called as mature Graafian follicles. So you must note it down here. How many follicles are there? Primary follicles, secondary follicles, and tertiary follicles. After the tertiary follicles, which one is the mature? Which one is a zona pellucida? That is also formed from the tertiary follicle. After the formation of zona pellucida, what will happen? You know, see here, the follicle bulges onto the surface of the ovary. Such follicle is called as mature Graafian follicle. The Graafian follicle is also formed from the which one, you know, zona pellucida or tertiary follicles. Like that, they may ask the question. Okay, and second one is corpus luteum. The ovum is set from the ovary by rupture of the follicle. Already I told you how it will be ruptured. Ovum is set from the ovary by rupture of the follicle. When the follicle is ruptured, what happens? Automatically the egg is released. When it released, see here, the setting of ovum is called as ovulation. When the ovum is set, okay, present in the form. Okay, after the synthesis, like that, okay, egg is synthesized, egg is produced, not synthesized, it produced. It occurs nearly 14 days before the onset of the next menstrual cycles. After the 14 days, or before 14 days. Listen here. The setting of ovum is called as ovulation. Ovulation and occurs nearly 14 days before the onset of the next menstrual cycle. That means menstrual cycle period finished. After that 14 days, after the 14 days, the egg will be, what is that, produced. That is very, very important. The corpus luteum grows for a few days, and if the ovum is fertilized and pregnancy result, it continues to grow. Corpus luteum grows for a few days, and if the ovum is fertilized and pregnancy result, it continue to grow. Suppose if it is not possible, what will happen? Already you know, girls. So, but if the ovum is not fertilized, the corpus luteum persists only for about 14 days, and during this period is secrete progesterone and small amount of the estrogen. This is a combination. Note it down. This is very, very important. After the 14 days, the egg is waiting for the sperm. Okay, so the sperm is not fused. That male gamete is not fused with the female gamete. What happened? Okay, see here. That time, during this period, it's secreted the progesterone and a small amount of the estrogen. Okay, at the end of its functional life, that corpus luteum degenerated. Suppose waiting for the male gamete, it will not fuse with the female gamete. What will happen? Automatically the corpus luteum degenerated and is converted into a mass of fibrous tissues called as corpus albicans, otherwise called as white body. Okay, sometimes they may also called white body is called as corpus albicans. It will be corpus luteum degenerated as a result of formation of or conversion of the corpus luteum was happening into the mass of flow fibrous tissues. That mass of fibrous tissues is called as corpus albicans, is otherwise called as white body. Okay, so go to the next one. Gametogenesis. Okay, so these are the things already we discussed: male reproductive organ, female reproductive organs. What are the parts present in it? Okay, internal structure of the ovarian follicle is there, and also another one is called as corpus luteum. And then another part of the things is gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is nothing but the production of, what is that? Gamete. Each and every sexes are separated. Already know about male gamete is also produced separately, female gamete is also produced. They are collectively called as a gametogenesis. That means the production of gametes, formation of gametes. Gametes mostly in the haploid nature. Some of them they produce diploid nature. In human being, taken examples, all are haploid. See here, gametogenesis is the process of formation and differentiation of the haploid gamete from the diploid primary germ cells, gametogonia. So this is very, very important. Gametogenesis is also gamete production from the diploid primary germ cell is called as gametogenia. Otherwise called as gametogonia, archegonia, oogonia, like that we are studying, isn't it? Lower plants. Likewise, gametogonia is nothing but the gamete production takes place in the gametogenesis in human being. It is present in the primary sex organ called as gonads. Note it down. This is very, very important. Gametogenesis, gametogonia, gonads. Haploid gametes. They are having how many chromosomes? 23 chromosome in gamete cells, isn't it? Okay. The gametogenesis of two types. Sorry, here the spelling mistake is okay. Two types. One is called a spermatogenesis. It's nothing but the sperm production, and oogenesis is nothing but the egg productions. These are the two types of gametes produced and by the respective sexes. Okay. See, the first one is called spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is nothing but the sperm production. How it will be produced? What are the chromosome present in? Okay, how it will be produced? The mature sperm. That is very, very important. It is the formation of the haploid, microscopic, and functional male gametes. Is called as spermatogenesis. Okay, from where? How? The spermatozoa from the 2N diploid reproductive cell, spermatogonia. Listen here, this is very, very important. body cell contain which one? Diploid nature. Okay, likewise, the spermatogonia is also having a diploid nature, but it produces the haploid microscopic functional male gamete. That is very, very important. That process is called as, what is that? Spermatogonia. Other cell is called as spermatogonia. That process is called as spermatogenesis. The spermatogonia present in the testis of the male organisms. Okay, this is very, very important. The spermatogenesis is continuous process. Spermatogenesis is also a continuous process. Continuously produce the sperm. So in the seasonally breeding animals, this is also divided into two types: seasonal animals and throughout the year, like that they may told. Okay, two types of animal is there. Spermatogenesis is a continuous process, like in the seasonal breeding animals, the testis undergo testicular cycle in which the testis and the spermatogenetic tissues become functional only in the specific breeding season only. Seasonal breedings, the sexual organs are produce the gametes only the seasonal periods only. Otherwise, what will happen now? It will be completely, what is a sunken. Okay, that is very, very important. Just like a dog. Okay, some of them are seasonal breeders. Sometimes, what is that? The particular season only they can undergo the reproduction process. Okay, best examples, dog in the time of January and December, like that. That periods only, what happened? No, they undergo the reproduction process. Male as well as the female, they may be contact. See here. So this is the structure of the spermatogenesis. This is called as oogenesis. Just leave it this part. We concentrate only in the spermatogenesis. Here, spermatogonia. This is called as 2N stage. This is dated. Already we discussed this also. The spermatogonia is a diploid nature. They undergo the mitotic division as a result of formation of which one? Diploid primary spermatocyte production takes place. Spermatogonia produce primary spermatocytes. It is also diploid nature. It's a mitotic division takes place here. As a result, what happens? 2N stage. Again, it undergoes the divisional. Already in our about meiosis is also one of the reduction division. That means 2N divided into 2 single N. That is called as haploid. The primary spermatocyte produce a secondary spermatocyte by the process is called as meiosis 1. Otherwise called as first reduction stage. Reduction divisions takes place in here. First one mitotic. As it is, it will be transfer the chromosomes. After the formation of primary spermatocytes, it's undergo the meiosis 1 divided into 2. Okay. So the secondary spermatocytes also further undergo the meiosis 2. You will get it a corresponding 4 spermatid. Spermatid. Note it down. This is very, very important. Immature sperm is called as, what is that? Spermatids. After the formation of spermatid, immature, they cannot be able to move here and there. It will grow as a spermiogenesis process. Spermiogenesis. This is called a spermatogenesis. This one is called a spermiogenesis. Nothing but the spermiogenesis, nothing but a production of sperm. The spermatid undergo the spermiogenesis process as a result of formation of a spermatosova. This is called a spermatosova. In this event, the spermatogenesis is also divided into 3 phases: multiplication phase, growth phase, and maturation phase. Multiplication, growth, maturation. The maturation phase only, what happened on the spermatosova? This can only fertilize the ovum. It has the ability to fertilize the ovum. So this is called as matured sperm. Okay, this is very, very important one. Here the spermatogenesis is also divided into 3 categories, 3 phases: multiplication, growth, and also maturation. Multiplication phases also takes place in the spermatogonia by the process called as mitotic divisions. It is also diploid in nature. It undergo the mitotic division as well as the production of the primary spermatocytes. After the formation of spermatocytes, it is also a second phase is called as growth phase. up to the meiosis 1, meiosis 2 also takes place in the growth phase. Spermiogenesis is the third one. Now, first one is mitotic division, and second one is meiosis. Second meiosis also takes place in the growth phase. Third one is called as spermiogenesis, is also a maturation phase. After the maturation, what happens? Automatically they can able to fuse with the female gamete. Here also same, similar, but here some differences there. See here, oogenesis, we will study that things also in later after the spermiogenesis. Okay, oogenesis also comes. Okay, before that we should know. Oogenesis is nothing but the egg, otherwise called as ovum production takes place in the oogonia. Here the spermatogonia, sperm production. Here oogonia is the egg productions, otherwise called as ovum productions. They are also same. See here, the mitotic divisions takes place as a result formation of primary oocytes. But the primary oocytes also form here two things. The first polar body divided into two. First one is first polar body, and another one is secondary oocytes. Secondary oocytes. Primary oocytes, so secondary oocytes. You have to calculate this direct arrow is there, that only you consider. Okay, 2 in oogonia. Mitotic division takes place. As a result, primary oocytes. After that, it is also undergo the secondary oocytes. By the process called as meiosis 1 completed prior to ovulations. The secondary oocytes also further undergoes the completion of secondary meiosis as a result of formation of ovum. Here, how many ovumes is there? Only single. Okay, here the first polar body and second polar body, adult reproductive life. See here, these are all are completely what happened in ovum. Not come to the conclusion. Only one egg is formation takes place in the oogenesis. Here, how many spores are produced? The spams are produced. The 4 spams are produced in the single cell. Here also single, here also single. But diploid in nature, diploid in nature. But here the mitosis meiosis takes place as a result of the formation of 4 spermatids. Formation takes place. But here the only one ovum is formation takes place here. Okay, so go to the next one. In some of the seasonal breedings, already we discussed there. Okay, animals like bat and otter and also lameo, testes get enlarged, become a functional and descend into the scrotum in the breeding seasons, while they become reduced non-functional and ascends into the abdomen in the other season. Already told you, the sexual organs only, the testes only at the time of what is a season only they can comes out. That is very, very important. But in human, male lion and bull or horse, etc., the test is permanently in the scrotum and the spermatogenesis occur throughout the year. This is very, very important. This one is called a seasonal breeding. This one is called throughout the year. Spermatogenesis is also produced compared to these two only. That's why dogs and there's a bat, otter, and there's lamia. They are all seasonal breeders. But compared to the man is there throughout the years. Okay, that is very, very important. This is very, very different also. Very much. Testis descends into the respective scrotal sacs during the 7th month of the development under the stimulation of FSH and adenohypophysis. Note it down. This is very, very important. When the female or male reproductive organ produced within the mother's stomach in the 7th month, note it down. This is very, very important. 7th month of the development under the stimulation of 2 hormones. What are they? Follicle stimulating hormone and also adenohypophysis. Okay, this is very, very important. Note it down. Here you must note it down. 7th month. What are the hormones responsible for the things? That's also very well. But in some mammals, example, elephants, whales, seals, testis lies permanently in the abdomen. These are the 2 things is very, very important. Okay, so go to the next one. Here the spermatogenesis is completed in 3 major steps already we discussed. One is called, these are spermatocytogenesis. Spermatogenesis also divided into 3 types. One is called spermatocytogenesis, meiosis 1 and 2, spermiogenesis. Spermatocytogenesis is nothing but what is that? Mitotic cell division takes place, during which the spermatogonia divided and produce a successive generation of cells that gives rise to a spermatocyte. That's why it is called as spermatocytogenesis. The production of spermatocytocytes from the, which one you know? Spermiogenesis, spermatogenesis process. The first one is called a spermatocytogenesis. It produces that process is called, this is the process. That means the spermatocytogenesis is a process. What is that? The spermatocyte production takes place. The spermatocyte production takes place. That process is called a spermatogenesis. From where you know? Spermatogonia. Note it down. This is very, very important. Meiosis already you know, during which the spermatocytes go through one reduction division, meiosis 1, and the one equisenal division is called as meiosis 2. Okay, equisenal divisions. Further also, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Spermiogenesis, during which the spermatid differentiated into spermatozoa. These are the 3 steps occurs in the spermatogonia: spermatocytogenesis, meiosis, spermiogenesis. Already we discussed in the diagrammatical aspects. Here we will discuss one by one. The spermatocytogenesis. In spermatocytogenesis, the spermatogonia present on the side wall of the seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules multiply by mitotic division. Already we discussed, and increases in the numbers. Each spermatogonia is a diploid containing 46 chromosomes. Already you know diploid nature, 46 chromosomes. Some spermatogonia undergo changes. They grow, increase in size by accumulating nourishing material and are called primary spermatocytes, which periodically undergo meiosis 1 and the other remaining as a spermatogonia. Okay, this is the spermatocytogenesis. What will happen inside mitotic cell division? How many chromosomes present in? 46 chromosomes present in. What happened inside? Accumulation, nourishing material, and are called primary spermatocytes. The primary spermatocytes undergo the meiosis 1, remaining present as it is in the spermatogonia. Okay, first one cell is also enter into the, what is the spermatocytogenesis? See here, this is called a spermatogonia. This is the mother cell for the production of sperm. Okay, so this one is called as primary spermatocytes. This one is called as, what is the secondary spermatocytes. So these two are very, very important. This is called a spermatid. Okay, and this is called a spermatozoa. This is the well-developed spermatozoa. Okay, the serotolic cell. What is the main functions of serotolic cell? They provide the, what is that? Nutrients, isn't it? These are all very, very important. Serotolic also very, very important. See here. So these are the epididymis, the scrotal structure. After that, serotolic cells, nucleus, and then expansion they have given as a, what is that? How they will produce inside spermatogonium, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, and a spermatid. Okay, and finally sperm. The matured one, spermatid. Mature spermatid is called as sperms. Okay, see that. Some spermatogonia act as a stem cells. Type A spermatogonia. There are 2 types of spermatogonia present in it. One is act as a stem cell. They may ask the question, which spermatogonia act as a stem cell? Otherwise, the type A spermatogonia is called as what? Stem cells. And go on dividing and adding new cells, but some spermatogonia, type B spermatogonia, move inward and enter the growth phase. These are the 2 things. There are 2 types of spermatogonia present in it. One is act as a stem cells. This is isolated from where, you know, during the time of maturation, delivery. The stem cells also collected from the umbilical cord of the fetus, isn't it? Or mammary gland, I mean, mams, mothers. Type B is also, what will happen? Move inward and enter this growth phase. This is very, very important. Type 1, now the type B only enter into the another phase, growth phase. Okay, the first one is not enter. That is the stem cell. They produce the, which one you know, continues dividing the pot. Division is also producing the new cells, adding of new cells for what? The production of the sperms. Okay, this one is the main, otherwise called as mother cell, like that. Spermatogonia is the mother cell, isn't it? It produces the type 2 type of spermatogonia. This is enter into the growth phase. Okay, the meiosis already know. In primary spermatocyte, meiosis takes place. Meiosis 1. The diploid primary spermatocyte 2n with 44 plus XY, total 46 chromosomes. It undergoes the meiosis 1 reduction division and form a 2 haploid cells called the secondary spermatocyte. These are the things already we discussed in the which one slide, previous slide, isn't it? Already very well about it clearly. Okay, now meiosis 2, the secondary spermatocytes undergoes the second meiotic division to produce a 4 equal haploid spermatids. The number of chromosomes in each spermatid is 23 because it is reduction division deployed to haploid in nature. Okay, so this is the very important. Spermiogenesis, the transformation of the non-motile rounded. Note it down. This is very important. Spermiogenesis, non-motile rounded. Here, this is considered as a this one. So this is called as non-motile rounded. These are all a spermatid, but it's an what is a rounded, non-motile in nature. Okay, that is the things. Okay. See here, non-motile rounded and haploid spermatid into the functional and motile spermatozoon is called as spermiogenesis. Then non-motile rounded haploid spermatid developed or converted into which one motile spermatozoon is called as spermiogenesis. It will involve in the following changes. This conversion non-motile to motile. Here there are so many changes occur, then only non-motile converted to motile nature. This is very important. See here, see nucleus become condensed, narrow and anteriorly pointed. This is the first point. Then only non-motile spermatid converted into motile spermatid. Golgi body of spermatid forms the acrosome. Here nucleus, here Golgi bodies. The two centrioles of the spermatid becomes arranged one after the other behind the nucleus. It forms the neck of the sperm. How the sperm formation takes place? That means development takes place from the round to tail-like structure, just like a worm-like structure. Okay, see that first one is nucleus become condensed. The concentration, addition of other molecules become a condensation, fortification, like that, narrow and anteriorly pointed. Golgi bodies. Spermatid forms the acrosome. Acrosome, note it down. The acrosome is also forms from where Golgi bodies. Note it down. This is very important. The two centrioles is also very important. This is for formation of neck and sperm. Neck and sperm. Distal centriole gives rise to the oxonium. This is another part. Mitochondria, note it down. This is very important. So many times they were asked the question: the sperm move from the one place to another place. How they will move? Because the presence of the energy components. Then the high energy component that is called as adenosine triphosphate, otherwise called as ATP, they can synthesized by the mitochondria. The mitochondria from the different part of the spermatid get arranged into the middle piece. They may ask the question: sperm, the mitochondria present the which area? Middle piece around the axial filament. It forms a spiral ring behind the neck. Head, tail, neck. See the head. What is the next point? Neck, body part, and tail. These are the 4 parts, isn't it? The nucleus, that means sperm content. These are the 4 parts. How they will built by the cells? These are the point: nucleus, Golgi bodies, centrioles, and also a distal centriole, and also mitochondria. These are all very important for the formation of a sperm. And then most of the cytoplasm is lost, but some cytoplasm form the sheath of the tail of the sperm. Sheath, just like a sheath-like structures formation also takes place from the cytoplasm. Typical mammalian sperm is flagellated. Typical mammalian sperm is flagellated, just like a tail-like structure. It can be used for the movement of the, like as a bacteria, isn't it? They can move from one place to another place. Likewise, the mammalian sperm is also have the flagellated. Consists of the 4 parts, namely head, neck, middle piece, and also tail. Already I told. After the spermiogenesis, the sperm head become embedded in the serotolic cells. And sometimes they may ask the question. Okay, the sperm head become embedded with the which type of cells? Serotolic cells, and are finally released from the seminiferous tubules by the process called as spermiation. These are the important events occurs when, where. See that it involves the following changes during the time of spermiogenesis. Okay, non-motile to motile. How it will be changed? These are the event takes place, then only not motile into motile place. Then spermatozoa, otherwise called as sperm. The sperm are microscopic and motile, and cell sperm remaining alive and retain their ability to fertilize the ovum from 4 to 48 hours after having been released in the female reproductive organ. This is very, very important. When it is the sperm released from the male sex organs, okay, see here, it fertilized how many times? 24 to 48, only 2 days only. They can alive for 3 days, but the fertilization takes place within the 2 days only. Suppose if it is not possible, what happen? The fertilization, the fusion not takes place. That means male gamete, it will not fuse with the female gamete. Suppose it may be over than 2 days. Okay. The typical mammalian sperms consist of a head, neck, middle piece, and also tail. These are the very, very important. Spermatozoa, otherwise called sperms. Sperm is a microscopic, alive. Okay. And fertilize the ovum. That is called as the ability to fertilize the ovum. That is called as fertile conditions. Infertile also there. Okay. That is called a sterile condition also. Already we discussed 60% is normal sperm, 40% is highly vigorous in nature. It's already we studied that things also. The typical mammalian sperm consists of the head and neck and middle piece and also tail. See the structure, then you can easily understand. They occur fertilizability during their passage through the epididymis. The 2 testes of young adult forms about 110 million sperm each day. Note it down. This is a 110 millions of sperm produced each and every day. Okay, this is also another important things. See that one. So this is the structure already in our board. This is acrosomes already in our. This is the head. Before the head, there is a hook-like structure. There is a what is a arrow-like structure. Is that structure is called as what is the acrosome. It contains the plasma membrane. It's covered with the plasma membrane, followed by nucleus already in our board. Nucleus containing the chromosomal material, particularly 23 chromosome is there. This part is called as what is a head. Followed by neck is there. It's a connection between the body part. Is in the middle part as well as the head, neck. The middle piece is there. The middle piece is consists of the mitochondria. What is that? Mitochondria, not only that, and also what are the things is the tail like the structure is also connected with the middle piece. Here, head, neck, middle piece, and also tail part is there. The mitochondria, energy sources for swimming. Already I told you how they will get the energy. Because the presence of mitochondria in the middle piece only. Note it down. Middle mitochondria. Note it down. The energy production is ATP. They can secrete the ATP molecule during the respiration process, isn't it? Likewise, they will get it. As a result, what happened at the sperm, it can be moved from the one place to another place. Particularly as the female reproductive organ, it can be easily moved with the seminal fluids. That is very, very important things. See the another structure of human beings. This is the head part. The middle piece, mitochondria, spiral shape is the, see here, the arrangement of mitochondria. How many mitochondria is there? Plasma membrane, tails, and also acrosomes. Okay, these are the what. See, another one is, this is your book diagrams. Plasma membrane, acrosome, nucleus containing chromosomal materials, neck, middle piece, mitochondria, energy sources for swimming, and tail. This is called as, collectively called as head. That things also already we discussed, isn't it? Okay. So it's also another category. See. Okay. Head. Okay, we'll pass on very fastly. Okay, anyhow, we'll see the remaining things on the next class in this area. Today, what we have discussed already, we discussed what are the parts is the in our report. What is meant by? Please summarize the things. Female reproductive organ, isn't it? Female reproductive organ already we discussed. Pair of ovaries, pair of oviduct, uterus, cervix, extragenitalia, and pair of mammary glands. isn't it? And then already we discussed ovaries, what are the hormones responsible, which shape, and how it will be. All those things already we discussed. Accessory glands, already what are the accessory glands is also present in it. Fallopian tubes, otherwise called as oviduct. Oviduct composed of these are the 3 points is the maximum fertilization takes place in this area only. Infundibulum, ambula, and isthmus, what are the things, how it will be. These are the parts already in our collectively called as fallopian tubes. Each one it has a specific structure and shape. Infundibulum has been broad, a funnel shaped. This is also so many times asked, the funnel shaped. Okay, here the columnar epithelium is also ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay, ambula, isthmus already know is just straight part already know present in the uterus. These are the very, very important things. So we discussed this part. Okay, this is the structure of fallopian tube. Uterus also has the 2 parts, the fundus and also corpus body. Upper dome shaped structure is called as fundus, and corpus, it's the middle and main part of the uterus. Here in cervix also very, very important. This is also connected with the copulatory organs. And then external ganglia, just to go and refer to the things, and what are the glands present in it. Lesser vestibular glands and the paraurethral gland, otherwise called as glands of skin. Greater vestibular and glands, and also Bartholin's glands is also already we discussed what are the things is there. And how they are very important for the mucous membrane already, mucous secretions, and also mammary gland already we discussed. These are the 2 things is there. Okay, mammary gland, how it will be. Okay, mammary alveoli, mammary tubules, the milk secretion takes place there. Okay, mammary ducts and mammary ampulla and also lacteal. This is the way to the milk is ejected from the mammary glands. So pituitary, this is a very important for the pituitary gland. Hypothalamus, oxytocin, they secreted by the pituitary hormones. The prolactin and oxytocin is very, very essential for the milk secretion. The first milk is called as colostrum. Already in our immunoglobulin A is highly present. Mammary glands are all modified in the form of set glands. This is also already we discussed. And this is mammary glands. History of ovary. Already we discussed what are the part of the history of ovary. In ovary, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Already we discussed these things also. And then internal structure, ovarian follicle, folliculi. Okay, that things already discussed. Corpus luteum. So that things also gametogenesis already, you know, there are 2 types of gametes also produced. One is called as spermatogenesis, another is called what is a oogenesis. Spermatogenesis, you know about what are the things already we discussed. Okay, how it will be mitotic, meiotic 1, meiotic 2. How many overall, that is called as 4 non-motile cells also produced. Then it also undergoes the further division. Finally, it gets spermatosoma. Okay, 4. Okay, that things also already discussed. So remaining things we will see on the next class. Please kindly go through the lesson, then only you can easily understand. Okay, bye, take care. Thank you, my dear students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kanam.